Now at 5, Cruisapalooza kicks off in Webb City. We'll tell you about some of the events. Plus, we'll meet a TikTok influencer from the 4 states at a TikTok meet and greet event.
Top toys for the holidays are already in the pipeline. I'm Bradley Blackburn with a preview of what parents may be searching for.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We're tracking some storms moving into parts of the area. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for the latest.
Yeah, we have a pretty good severe threat as we go through the next several hours. We're actually in an elevated threat, which is showing us here in orange. So level 3 out of 5 on our scale of severe weather. And really the main threats here from now until 10 p.m. wind and heavy amounts of rain. Tornado threat's fairly low, but we're going to have to elevate wind and heavy rain. Some of these could produce winds 70 upwards to 80 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warnings now across Neosho, Callan, Allen County, Woodson County, Wilson County, Greenwood County, also Elk County in southeastern Kansas as this line works through. But a little concerned about this bowing on the front edge because right at the front of the arrow, that's where we're going to see the strongest winds, and we can actually zoom in. So just to the west of Yates Center, just north of Fredonia. But this is going to produce winds 60, 70, 75 miles per hour, and this is all going to push southeast into the region as we go through the evening hours for us tonight. So of course, we're going to break this all down for you here in just a little bit.
See you soon. City of Neosho says Newton County is still not paying the city the money it owes from a TIF sales tax. The city and county have been in a dispute over the tax money dating back to 2021 when the city sued the county. In April of this year, a judge ruled in favor of the city, saying the county needed to restart payments. Well, now the county says it's waiting on paperwork from the city to send the payments, but the city says that's just another excuse. In November, a judge will determine how much money, including interest, the county must pay to the city of Neosho. Welcome to Cruisapalooza in Webb City. It features multiple events such as a TikTok meet and greet, a vintage car show, karaoke band, and various live performances. It also has a red, white, and blue tent. Most of the proceeds will also go to support mental health for veterans.
We thought, what could make this a better event? And we just thought we need to have an event for a cause. So we kind of got to talking about what would be the best thing, and we love our veterans, our active military, and our police and fire, and we wanted to be able to show them, yes, there are heroes, and we support them and we love them, and it really just kind of came about as mental health awareness for all of those entities.
Cruisapalooza will continue tomorrow until 10 p.m. in King Jack Park. Cruisapalooza also had a very special guest today. Pippi Longstocking is celebrating 35 years as the actor who plays her is celebrating right here in the 4 states.
We thought we were creating something special. Ken Anakin, the director, he was an Academy Award nominated director, and so then we had veteran actors in it, Dick Van Patten, Eileen Brennan, John Shuck, Dennis Dugan. So we knew we had something special, but I am so thrilled that the fans all over the world have embraced it so much.
Those who attended today were able to take photos, ask questions, buy merch. You can also follow Tammy on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Abortion is the focus for many Republicans today as GOP lawmakers in Congress take aim at Defense Department abortion policies, while Republican presidential hopefuls celebrate the passage of a tough new abortion law in Iowa. Willie James Inman has more details from Capitol Hill.
The amendment is adopted.
Republicans successfully added an amendment banning the Pentagon from covering travel expenses for service members seeking abortions to a bill funding the military.
It doesn't matter what position you stand when it comes to abortion. When the one defining part that most all Americans believed, you can support it or you can oppose it, but don't use tax dollars on it.
Then Friday, the GOP-controlled House passed the Defense Authorization Act, mostly along party lines. The bill typically wins large bipartisan support.
The far right hijacked our national security, and this makes our country less secure, less safe, and it's an insult to all of our women in uniform. So I'm a no.
On the other side of Capitol Hill, Senator Tommy Tuberville has single-handedly blocked the Senate confirmation of more than 250 senior military officers because of Pentagon abortion policies. President Biden slammed Tuberville Thursday while traveling in Europe.
I'd be willing to talk to him if I thought there was any possibility of him changing this ridiculous position he has. He's jeopardizing U.S. security.
Abortion is also a key focus today for the candidates hoping to win the GOP's presidential nomination. A majority of the candidates are attending an evangelical forum in Iowa today.
Isn't it good to be in a nation where you are free to praise the Lord? Hallelujah.
Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds is using the event to sign a new bill into law, banning abortions after 6 weeks in most cases. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The 6-week abortion ban in Iowa does include exceptions for rape, incest, the life of the mother, and fetal abnormalities, which are fatal. Police in New York have finally made an arrest in connection with the killings of as many as 10 people on Long Island, New York, more than a decade ago. 59-year-old Rex Heuermann appeared in a Long Island court where he's charged with 6 counts of murder. Since 2010, more than 10 victims have been discovered strewn across a stretch of Ocean Parkway, several of them identified as sex workers. Still ahead, health experts have discovered new cancer risks in an artificial sweetener. And next in Health Watch, the CDC is warning parents about the dangers of cannabis use among children. Topping today's Health Watch, the World Health Organization's Cancer Agency has labeled the artificial sweetener aspartame as a possible cause of cancer. But a separate group of experts looking at the same evidence still considers the sugar substitute to be safe. Reporter Tina Kraus has more on the new research.
It's 200 times sweeter than sugar and the world's most widely used artificial sweetener. Aspartame is found in about 6,000 products worldwide, from diet soda to flavored water to yogurt. The World Health Organization's Cancer Agency now says aspartame is a possible carcinogenic, citing limited evidence for a type of liver cancer. But according to its own hazard classification, confidence in the assessment was low, admitting more research is needed.
And this shouldn't really be taken as a direct statement that indicates that there is a known cancer hazard from consuming aspartame.
Another group of experts from the WHO's Food Additive Committee concluded there's no convincing evidence aspartame is dangerous if people don't consume more than 40 milligrams per just over 2 pounds of their body weight, meaning the average American would need to drink more than a dozen cans of diet soda a day to be at risk.
Results do not indicate that occasional consumption should pose a risk to most consumers.
Do you drink things or eat things with aspartame?
Sure. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Former U.S. Surgeon General Richard Carmona says it's a safe alternative to sugar.
And obesity accelerates just about every disease, whether it's cancer, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and so on. And so there's a reason that we want to reduce sugar consumption.
But experts also advise making healthier choices like drinking water is best for overall health. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
The American Cancer Society is calling for more research on aspartame and advising consumers to watch their intake. The pandemic brought a significant increase in cannabis emergencies for people younger than 25. The Centers for Disease Control says that includes children under 10, with more than 70 visits to emergency rooms each week by the middle of 2022. The CDC says adults should keep cannabis locked away, especially those edibles which might look like candy. A new study finds older adults with razor-sharp memory can also move more quickly than their peers. Research in a Lancet journal tracked people in their 80s known as super-agers. The group, resistant to memory decline, was not only speedier than others their age, but also had better mental health. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, Amazon's Prime Day broke the record for the company's biggest day in history.
We have severe weather working into southeastern Kansas. We're going to talk about that coming up. Well, it's definitely turned out to be a warm one outside for us today. Scattered thunderstorms during the morning hours. Another round is pushing in. for us right now, and that's why we have this severe threat across the area, elevated threat, southeastern Kansas, southwest Missouri. So this is a level 3 out of 5. Really, timing is from now until 10 p.m. Main threats are going to be winds gusting 70, maybe 75, and some heavy amounts of rain. Tornado threat is fairly low, but of course, anytime you have severe weather, you can't rule it out. So the entire viewing area is under severe thunderstorm watches. Northern counties till 7, a little bit later till about 10 in our southern counties. You can see the severe thunderstorm warnings popping out. So Greenwood, Elk, a part of Chautauqua, Woodson, Wilson, Allen, Neosho counties, all in southeastern Kansas. And this is due to this bow echo. We call it a bow, kind of like a bow and arrow. So you can see the curvature out ahead of it. And usually when we get these kind of bow echoes, we get winds that push 70 to 80. So that is going to be the main threat. Plus it's moving pretty quick. So this is over the past hour. So it's now diving east, southeast at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. So this severe weather is going to move in very quickly as we go through the next several hours. All right, let's zoom in. Here's Iola. You can see our warnings out until about 5:45. Now pushing through Yates Center. So we're going to zoom in here. So here's Woodson County, where you see the brighter reds, the kind of magenta colors. That's where the heaviest rain is. And then the strong winds are right on the leading edge of this bow. And you can see this extends farther south into northern parts of Wilson County. So really Fredonia up toward Buffalo, right up 75 into Yates Center. And this is mainly going to track east-southeast. So let's go out 1 hour. We're looking at these near Fort Scott, most likely Girard, and pushing into Parsons. So you can see how fast, and then if you take that and go another hour, that's when it's going to get into the metro area. So about 2 more hours away. Let's go through time. Watch this bow come right in. So here's 6, 7 o'clock. Heavy amounts of rain. Again, main threat's going to be very gusty winds. By 9 p.m., the severe threat's going to be from Mount Vernon, Neosho, Anderson to Grand Lake. So if you're heading to Grand Lake, Table Rock Lake, Beaver Lake, watch out for that as we go through the evening hours. But as we continue through the evening, this line is pretty much out of here by 10 or 10:30, which is great news. We're going to get some very good rain, plus our severe threat will start to drop after that point in time. Rainfall, we all need it. Everybody should get at least quarter, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch as these storms push through the region, which we greatly need. You can see those thunderstorms, the tops of those clouds looking northwest from the east side of Joplin, sitting at 93 visibility at about 10 miles per hour. All right, once this line pushes through, we start the day pretty good. We're going to have a lot of clouds, may have a random shower, but once we get into the afternoon, not a bad day. By noon into the lower 80s, and then once we get to about 4 or 5 p.m., most of us are going to be sitting near 90 for an afternoon high. 90 tomorrow, 95 on Sunday. There may be an isolated storm late Sunday. Better chances Sunday night into Monday, but look at these temps. 98 Monday, 102 on Tuesday, 101 on Wednesday. Of course, thunderstorms are going to be picking up the next few hours, so we're going to keep you guys updated.
People need to keep it here and stay informed.
Yes.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, more than 111 million people across the Southwest are under extreme heat alerts. In some areas, the temperature is expected to soar as high as 120 degrees with no relief in sight. Las Vegas ambulance crews are preparing for more calls than usual as the heat wave blanketing the Southwest sends temperatures soaring into triple digits. In Phoenix, emergency rooms have been busy all week as Arizona endures its hottest July on record. Forecasters say the region won't find much relief until well after this weekend. Coming up, toy manufacturers are already getting ready for the holiday season. We're going to take a look at some of the new toys hitting the shelves. Topping today's Consumer Watch, you might still be eligible for a tax refund from 2019, but you have only until Monday to file. The Internal Revenue Service says nearly 1.5 million people could be eligible for almost $1.5 billion in unclaimed refunds. By law, taxpayers have 3 years to file and claim their tax refunds. Because of the pandemic year, the 3-year window was pushed back to July 17th. The Biden administration has announced $39 billion in student debt relief. The administration announced 804,000 borrowers will have their student debt wiped away in the coming weeks. It's due to administrative fixes that more accurately count qualified monthly payments. There are currently several different kinds of income-driven repayment plans for borrowers with federal student loans. Americans are feeling optimistic about the future. The University of Michigan tracked a 13% rise in consumer sentiment in July. That's the second straight month of improvement. It's also the most optimistic Americans have felt since September of 2021. Have you started your holiday shopping yet? Yeah, well, believe it or not, toy manufacturers are gearing up for the holidays, hoping their toy becomes this year's must-have. Bradley Blackburn got a preview of what's in store and talked to some consumers whose opinions really count.
If Christmas was in July, it would look something like the Sweet Suite, Toy Insider's preview of this year's new goodies.
Are we gonna play? Yeah!
With pint-sized influencers invited to try them out.
See?
Kira and Cam are YouTube stars from Missouri. Their family vlogs and reviews toys. Today, field testing the new Skyfire Target drone.
That was cool. I really like that though.
It'll launch up in the air.
Toy Insider's Lori Schacht says it's one of this year's highlights, with lots of tech toys in the pipeline.
We can play with him just by petting him.
The doggy robot can teach kids programming, while the Kai lets them interact with artificial intelligence.
They're going to grow up with it. They need to understand it. And this is a great beginning for them.
And a little secret is that these days a lot of toys are bought by grown-ups for grown-ups.
With toys that not only are great for kids, but are great for parents too. So you see everyone playing together, and some of those toys are really geared for the 14, 18, 21 and up.
That's why the biggest toy of the year could be Barbie. Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken!
Boosted by this summer's movie, she's a blockbuster with new versions for young children and adult collectors.
I think that everyone is touched by Barbie in some way or another.
Old favorites and new finds that could soon be on kids' holiday wish lists. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Toy Insider says manufacturers have solved a lot of supply chain problems, so stores should have plenty of inventory when these new toys hit the shelves for the holidays. Amazon scores its largest Prime Day in company history. Consumers spent $12.7 billion during Amazon's Prime Day sales on July 11th and 12th. That's a 6.1% rise from a year ago, according to Adobe Analytics. Amazon said July 11th was the single largest sales day in company history, but did not provide details. Shoppers bought 375 million items over the two-day sale. That's up from 300 million last year. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how a growing number of younger Americans are retiring early. Then on KOAM News at 6, a plane crash in Missouri leaves 2 people dead, another injured. Plus, we're going to tell you about an event this weekend helping local veterans sign up for expanded health care benefits. And we're going to have more on the TikTok meet and greet at Web City's Cruisapalooza. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Doug is tracking a big storm system moving in from our west.
Yeah, we got a line of severe thunderstorms, which has now worked through Woodson and Wilson counties, now getting into Allen and Neosho County, and a new severe thunderstorm warning all the way down for Labette, Montgomery County, and Chautauqua County. Main threat with these guys are going to be winds gusting up to 70, maybe 75 miles per hour. These are moving east, kind of southeast. So these are going to still about an hour and 15 minutes away from Pittsburgh, and then about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the Joplin Metro. So we're going to deal with these till about 10 p.m. tonight with this severe threat. Let's go ahead and look at tomorrow for you. A few morning thunderstorms. High temp at 90, isolated storm on Sunday, high temp 95.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. Please do be careful out there. Keep it here and let's make it a great evening.